I'm back. I'm back. In our last video, we drew some pictures. Yes, we did. So I had picked up the action from after Akari swipes at these two ninja guys. And then these ninja guys that are behind her, this guy goes in for the kill and it kind of backfires. Boom, boom, boom! And her dress rips. Blah! I feel like I'm having more fun than a guy should really be allowed to have. But the funny thing about it is, we've got 2.5 pages of story beats, and in everything I did in the last session, which is basically starting here, zoom, zoom. Let's try that again. I want to see if I can end on the right frame. Zoom. All of that was the first 2 beats. There's a lot of work to do. Okay, so one thing we probably should look at while we're here is tightening these drawings up. I'm not going to deal with Spider-Man and these bad guys, but I would like to deal with this because this is really all just sticks and balls at this point. So I'd like to go ahead and tighten this up and turn it into a more complete rendition of our characters, I have to say. Seems like her ear right there was a tad on the large side. Okay. Well, another reason to go through and tighten it up is actually I'm looking right now at her bosom, and frankly, it seems a little big to me. And it's the sort of thing when it's all just a sketch, it's easy to miss little problems of scale and that sort of thing. Alright, so now she's actually got these straps going on because she's in her nightgown. And of course, we you know, I think in an earlier session I sort of, and I don't believe I ever mentioned this, I don't remember ever talking about it, but basically I drew her with some sort of little slippers on, which doesn't really make sense since she just got out of bed. But on the other hand, you know, way up earlier in the scene, she waved her hand around and instantly redid her hair. So there's a magical component here, if you want to look at it that way, which I kind of don't, but okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and go back to this event. Hello? What screen am I on? Okay. Go back to this. That pose right there. Okay, yeah. Now, of course, her hand could certainly have changed position while we were cut away to these other guys, but I would like to keep the basic continuity here reasonably tight. So this, Control C, Control V. Now one thing I want to look at is, I think, as long as we're improving things. Did I say we were going to improve things? I don't know if I did. Okay, this actually won't work. But maybe we can do this. This is probably not going to work. I just want you to know. Probably not going to work, but we'll see. Yeah, it actually did work. It's amazing how often flipping actually works pretty well. Now, is it perfect? Is it... Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I actually think it's darn near perfect. So, let's go ahead and start swiping things. So, if you're a smart animator, which I sort of pretend that I am, then you're going to try to leverage your assets as much as possible. I love that pose, man. She's just gonna drill this guy. Okay, so now can we steal her bosom from this shot? Let's find out. Let's find out. I think we can. I think we can. In fact, if we take the control key and just go ahead and stretch that. Of course, the other one needs to not be stretched. Okay, so that's too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just redraw this. Okay. Yeah, that works. That's awesome. Awesome. Man, I sound like I'm from the 1980s. Oh, wait, I am. Yes, that's right, folks. I am a Gen Xer. I am a Gen X guy. Okay. Alright, and I'm going to use my new hotkey, which is Alt-I, to shrink my and resize my eraser. I just set up these hotkeys today. Let me show you this. Configure shortcuts. Oh, sorry, it's up here. I probably just opened another instance of it. Brush size, decrease the max. Brush size, decrease the minimum. Increase the max, increase the minimum. So what I did was I set them to I and J. So if I'm using, if this was not a raster brush, in other words, if it was a regular OpenTunes brush, then, sorry, B key. Now you see up here you've got a minimum and a maximum size. So my J key increases my minimum and my I key increases my maximum. And then Alt-J decreases my minimum and Alt-I increases my maximum. I tend to like to work from about 2 to 5 or 2 to 6. So in the case of the My Paint brushes, it has no effect, but it does have an effect on the eraser. So if you hit the eraser, it's just the I key, I, and then Alt-I to shrink it, which I find that to be kind of useful. I don't like having to always mouse around in order to tweak things, so not having to mouse makes me very happy. Okay, so apparently what I had in mind here was that there's a shift in her weight. Again, the implication seems to be that she has some kind of slippers on. Okay, this is totally foreshortened, which is fine. Okay, and so now what we want to do is let's just grab this. You know, as much as possible, I tell you, reuse stuff. Reuse it. Okay, and I'm just going to change the angle slightly. And like I said, I love this pose. Alright, let's go back here. I'm just gonna kind of wing it on where I think her nightie strap would be. This seems to be definitely out of whack. Probably there would just basically be an indication there. Okay. And I'm gonna just keep her hand on her sword, like so. Not quite right. Seems better. And so now, just to save time and hassle, Control C, Control V, and yeah, actually I think that's kind of what would happen. So let's hit the erase tool here. And let's just say the blade would probably you'd still see it. Okay, so now this is a great example of where a little better planning. Well, what am I trying to say? The fact that I didn't plan that well is now becoming evident. Because what I need to do is get her fist here. Obviously her arm's gonna have to be sneaking behind, and I think this would come out like this. Didn't like that. I just love the powerful nature of that kick, man. I just love the way she biffs him, but good. I think it's cool. Okay, so a little erasing here to just sort of get my bearings again. Frankly, showing a little bit more fluidity in her nightie. Okay. Okay, and actually the ponytail thingy dingy would come up, and then it would be extended out on that shot, except that we have it kind of back in the initial position in the next shot, so therefore we shall cheat. Okay, OpenTunes is acting stupid. File, save all. It's the first time it's really acted goofy today, but and I'm basically trying to make her face get angrier and angrier as it goes. Well, in this is a great example of where, you know, when you've got everything in this really sketchy form, it can look pretty cool. And then once you have to start really figuring out the drawings, it's a little tougher than you thought. And that is most unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright. Okay. Really? Okay, that's just offensive. Something. I don't even know what happened right there. I don't even know what happened. Okay. Okay. So we lost a frame, and I actually don't care. I don't mind. I'm actually just gonna run this in real time. I want to see if I can kind of get the timing just with my fingers here on the keyboard. Maybe it'd be easier if I use the mouse key. Okay. We're just gonna have all kinds of fun with this. Why? Because we can. Because it's fun and it's funny. I'm gonna go ahead and let his. Oh, wait, he can't have a mouth though. Sorry, my bad. These ninja guys are wearing masks. So can't have everything we wished for. We can only have some of what we wished for. What am I talking about? Well, the fact that I was going to make his tongue sticking out. And then I realized, wait a minute. Ostensibly, he doesn't have a tongue. At least you never see it. So if we're going to take the Hume or Thoreau philosophical point of view, we might conclude that, well, if we don't see his tongue, he must not have a tongue. Okay, so now we have a real problem in the fact that this hand looks stupid. Okay. Pull out. Yeah, like I said, the hand looks stupid. I'm going to just redo the hand. Yeah, sometimes you need to pull out and just get some context. Definitely. So what I'm seeing here would be more like this. Okay. So should we keep the hands and the feet out of each other's way? I think so. And so if we're going to do that, we have to go something more like this. He's got those wraps, as all the ninjas do. Okay. Alright, let's... Okay, that I don't like. Actually, I think the momentum, now that I see it in motion, I think the momentum would, yes, be more like that. It's not exactly perfect, but I think that's a little more closer. It's a little more closer to what I had in mind. B key. Yeah, it's a little more closer. That's right. That's how we're going to use the language today. And actually, I think, I'm using my mouse here even though I said I don't like to. I think if we're going to do this, I think his hand should fly open and the sword goes a-flopping. Now, is it perfect? It's not perfect because the inertia would actually carry his arm forward. So I am cheating a bit. Yeah, that's not what would happen. Actually, I'm not even going to do it that way. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I think we'll go with that. Okay, that's too skinny. Okay. This knee would actually come forward more. Okay. Now up till his eyes pop open, he's going to be looking ominous. Now, do we really want to do what I'm about to do? Probably not. This is the sort of thing that I'm sure that Valerie's going to overrule. But why not? Oh, I'm having more fun. I told you this already. I said I'm having more fun than a guy should even be allowed to have. Okay, now the only problem is that this doesn't actually look that good. So with that in mind, I'm going to go grab these. I'm just going to drag this over here, do a little erasey poo, and then drag them back. I'm cheating a little bit here because I'm putting the some of the captions right into the drawings. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and flesh out a few of his details. Right? This guy, as far as I'm concerned, this guy's in shadow. He's just in shadow, man. All we see is his eyes. He's the mystery guy. He's Spider-Man. Come on. Spider-Man, the mystery guy. Okay. Strap. They all have that. We got this band here. Got the neck thing. Okay. Now what I'm going to try, my goal right now is to see if I can successfully create a radically simplified version of this cartoon character that's pretty much gonna play as, you know, this is the way it's gonna look in the final anime. You know. Whoops. Probably don't like that line. I don't like that one either. I guess this slight arc that's suggested by with the action lines kind of is what we want. Okay. Taking a flying leap, as they say. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, So obviously we don't want to stick ourselves in the leg with the blade. So we're going to cheat just a little bit here. And kind of go like that. We're going to suspend our disbelief just a little bit. Okay. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Now he's really flying, quite literally flying through the air. Ready to claim his quarry. Okay, by the way, I'm going to put in a somewhat of an indicator here of shadow so that you understand he's flying. Okay. Okay. Okay, all in all, I have to say I really like it. I think it's coming out nice. Nicely. I think when this is up to speed, it's going to be, you know, there's not much of a demand for detail because Elysian Space Dust. It's a good IPA. Is that an IPA? Yeah, IPA. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, all right. So let's review. She takes a warning swipe. And this guy decides to go for it. Much to his chagrin. Much to her chagrin. I love it. Let's go ahead and I guess we'll just whoopsie poo. Supposed to hit the S key there, fella. Control C. Control V. Okay, I think what would be cool here is she's got her straps. And I think that there should be something kind of like that going on. So she's doing that kind of a thing a little bit. Okay. Now I'm moving a little fast here, so I'm probably doing this a little sloppier than I should. Okay. I love that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we're here, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh, what can you say? It's working. As far as I'm concerned, it's working. So, keep rocking. I guess I haven't really made any progress in terms of moving the scene forward. Now, obviously, I will say that 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Yeah, this, I'm going to actually make a note. Do I really want to write this on the frame? Let's go to the dialogue. Okay. This is obnoxious. I have to go through now and delete all those. But I want to, I'll grab this brush, make it red. Cool. You know, just make a note. Because she sees him. What? Okay, this is by far his weakest shot. It's a pretty crappy drawing, actually. And what do we gain by her going from this to this to this, as opposed to going straight from this to this? There's no contest. These need to be deleted. End of story. They just need to be deleted. Yeah, that's way better. You know, sometimes you just chop stuff out and all of a sudden it just looks better, you know? Okay. So now we're moving on. Alright, so what happens next? The 3 rush. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta see if I've got a mistake here. 38 minutes. She push kicks. And the nighty reps. Okay. Ninja 2 notices. Turn to the team. Okay. Yes. Alright, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a... how do I want to do this? This may not work, okay? It's just one of those things I sort of see it in my head, and so we'll see if it can fly. That's definitely not going to work. We can't get too cartoony with her. Once in a great while, like when she realizes her dress ripped, you know, that's okay. A little bit. We don't want to get too cartoony with her crying. Okay, I don't like this. And again, this is what I call it when I say I'm spitballing. I'm literally just trying some stuff. Okay, so I actually think that this is way too big. Okay. So what I'm trying to capture here, and like I said, I don't know if this is going to work, but what I'm trying to get is this feeling that she's realized she's a little bit compromised here, or exposed, or whatever you want to say. It almost kind of sort of demands multiple keyframes probably. And see, the fact that her thighs are foreshortened, that doesn't really work. It's kind of reminiscent of that quintessential Marilyn Monroe shot where the fan blows up from below the grating, I guess in the sewer. I've never actually seen the movie. I've just seen the pastiches, if you will, on that moment. That moment in cinema history. It's kind of a classic, no doubt about it. Okay, that doesn't work. But I'm going to keep playing with this for a minute. If this... Okay, so she's got the angry eyes because, you dudes better not be looking at me kind of thing is what I'm thinking. So this is definitely more dramatic than it probably needs to be, but it's what we're trying to do is capture her point of view. That's what I'm really trying to do. I guess I've had a hard time putting it in words. I'm trying to capture how she feels at this moment, and by expressing something here visually. That's better. That is definitely better. Yeah, it's crazy how sometimes you can really exaggerate the poses, and all of a sudden it makes sense, So if we're going to do this, maybe she should be going like that and sort of holding herself together, you might say, right? Okay. So again, this is a shot that may not even be in the show, okay? But I think it's a worthwhile idea. So I'm going to save my work so I can flip the canvas and see if OpenTunes is going to be stupid and really what we want is kind of sad eyes. You have to pick one expression to sort of sum up everything that's going on here, and there's a lot going on all at one time. So, what's the simplistic expression that sort of captures what she would be feeling at this moment? I'm seeing that maybe this would be kind of crooked. And I think right down here, she would be pulling this down, wouldn't she? I think that's what would be going on. That's interesting. I didn't really get her build correct here, because she's really a little more petite construction than the way I've drawn this. But it's an interesting idea. See, yeah, we definitely would need two shots I almost hate to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and put in the next shot. I'm going to go ahead and do this. What I'm going to do is, I'm really sure this is not going to be in the show. It's just, it's you know, it's a gag that's probably not going to play. You know what I mean? Oops. Okay, you stupid thing. Okay, but let's see it through. Okay, first thing let's do, actually, correctively speaking, is let's hit the shift key and let's shrink this down. Okay, so that she's better framed in the shot. Okay, now I'm gonna shrink this as well, and I'm just guessing here. Okay, not bad. I almost got it, actually. So she's gonna have to stand up straighter. Okay, so now what we need to do, this is actually going to be a really interesting exercise in terms of how do you take, you know, these components, basically her feet and her head, which we know what they're doing. Now how do you take and sew those together, you know, into a sequence of keyframes that makes sense? I think that this should probably be stretched down and perhaps move over. Okay, so now I think what we have, we took away her hand that was here. So I think what we want to do is put an indication of her hand there, and then have a strong indication there. Okay, so that's actually not bad. That is not bad. In terms of, okay, that was stupid. I just erased the wrong thing. In terms of telling the story we're trying to tell, I actually think I did an okay job here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put foreground. These guys are going to be in shadow. Okay. So just to keep things simple, let's select them. So glad I can do this. Control C. And let's go back one shot and paste these guys in. Or not. Let's try that again. Something went wonky. Control C, Control V. And let's grab this guy. Control C, Control V. Okay. Now, the key thing here, really important actually, is the guys behind her. So let's do this. Let's just move her over, and I'm going to actually, okay, what I need to do is put an indicator right there. So that now I can grab this. Alright. How did I do that? You just, right here in this ruler bar, if you just click, it'll let you put little ruler elements, which are really handy. Darren T. Kudos to Darren T for pointing that out. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, so my point was that now what we have is, let's just say okay. Okay. So here's that wall that okay. Okay, now I don't know if this is like the best idea I've ever had, but I'm thinking this guy's feet, whoops. And then what we'll do is we'll have him just oops. So the idea is that this guy is in the foreground groaning. Okay. So what is the important thing here? Well, the important thing is these guys. These guys that are in the window, dude, they're ready for action, right? Okay, so what I want to do here is kind of important, that there needs to be a change in their attitude visually, purely in silhouette. Okay, so let's just play with this for a minute. Okay, he's a little big. All right. Okay, so now back up here, he's got 2 weapons in hand. Okay. I think one of them was a scimitar, wasn't it? No, actually it's the knife blade that was more scimitar-ish. Okay. So what I want to do here, leave him in silhouette. But let's copy him over here. And now what we're going to do is say, what could we do in terms of a change in attitude that would be subtle yet, shall we say, substantive? Okay, I'm going to go with that, because I'll show you here in a minute why. I want to go. Which one is it? Okay, I'm going to do this as a wide shot. I'll tell you right now that the likelihood is that this is going to be a camera move. Okay? Because I want to have both of these guys in the shot. Mr. Naruto. He's embarrassed by this turn of events. Okay. What could we do? Okay, I'm just thinking symbolically whether there's something we could do. I have to think about this one. Okay, actually this guy's eyes are pointing in the wrong direction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself 2 frames, and what I'm going to do is just give myself. Okay, so we want that in Ninja 1. But Ninja 2, we really want him to just have the embarrassed thing going on. Okay. Control C, Control V. So basically I want Ninja number 2 to not change his attitude very much. But Ninja 1 clearly is, you know, checking her out. Okay, and I think what I'll do is give this guy a slight. Oh, come on. If you click in the wrong place with the S key, then you're kind of hosed. Okay. And by the way, there's kind of a mountain in the background. So, just to be complete, I'll put that in there. Okay. So he leaps at her. Boom. She biffs him, but good. And she realizes, uh-oh. Okay, now there is a problem in that ninja number 2 is not yet in the picture. Okay, now what was his weapon? He's got the sai. Okay, so that can basically be like that. And then he's going to have this. And then we'll take this. Control C. Control V. I think this guy should react as well. So, what's the gist? At this point, there's a lot going on. Okay, this is a lot of action happening very fast. I think the storytelling's pretty good. I think I'm pretty well where I need to be. I think the drawing's pretty good. The animations, I think it's working. Okay, once these guys get wind of the fact that she's according to these beats, knock the knife. Okay, so he's blushing, knocks the knife away from Ninja 2. So I've got to figure out how this guy winds up getting his sai knocked out of his hands. And at that point, this guy will take a swipe at Akari, and he will successfully slice one of her straps. Okay, so what that means in practice is, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's go B. Okay, so what that means is that Akari is going to essentially be like that. She's going to have a strap that's hanging like that, and so she's going to be, and that will be about as far as it goes in terms of her losing her. Okay, that's not like the best drawing I've ever done, is it? Losing her her clothes. It's a bit of a setup actually for some jokes that come later, and it'll, so we get that far, you know, it'll make sense. So with that, what time is it? Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Guess what, folks? I have to leave.